A mother's worst nightmare. It was supposed to be a normal family trip to the zoo, but in the span of seconds, it turned into something no parent should ever witness. On November 4th, 2012, 2-year-old Maddox Derkosh was standing on the edge of the African painted dog exhibit at the Pittsburgh Zoo. His mother, trying to help him see better, lifted him onto the railing, despite signs warning not to. She never expected what would happen next. Maddox slipped from her grasp and fell 14 feet into the enclosure below. There was a net beneath the platform, but it wasn't meant for people, just loose phones or sunglasses. He bounced off it and landed directly inside the habitat. What he fell into wasn't just a space, it was a hunting ground. 11 African painted dogs saw him hit the ground and ran toward him instantly. Visitors watching from above screamed. Some said they heard the boy cry out. His mother tried to jump in after him, but strangers physically held her back, fearing she'd be killed too. Maddox was still alive when the attack began. The dogs bit and tore at him, focused and relentless. A responding officer shot one of the dogs in an attempt to distract the others. It didn't work. The animals didn't stop. By the time zoo staff got close enough to intervene, it was already too late. Maddox had suffered dozens of deep wounds to his head, neck, and torso. He bled to death inside the enclosure, with dozens of witnesses still watching. The incident sparked national outrage. The zoo blamed the mother, the family blamed the zoo, legal teams argued over who was responsible, the platform was removed, the exhibit shut down for good, the dogs were relocated to other zoos, except the one that had been shot. But even after the dust settled, the question lingered. Could it have been prevented? And did a split-second decision cost a child his life? Or was the real failure built into the design? The show that shouldn't have gone on. Dawn Brancheau was one of SeaWorld Orlando's top trainers. She had over 15 years of experience, and to the public, she seemed fearless. Her bond with Tilikum, the park's largest orca, was central to the park's image. But behind the scenes, Tilikum had a dark history, one few visitors knew about. At over 12,000 pounds and 22 feet long, he was a giant, even among killer whales. And he had already been linked to 2 deaths before. On February 24th, 2010, guests gathered for the popular Dine with Shamu show. As they ate lunch beside the pool, Dawn performed a final routine, laying next to Tilikum on a shallow platform. She stroked his head just as she had done countless times before, but this time something changed. Without warning, Tilikum grabbed her by the ponytail and yanked her into the water. What followed wasn't a single moment, it was 45 minutes of horror. The whale thrashed Dawn violently around the tank. Trainers on shore scrambled, throwing food and nets, trying to distract him. They gave hand signals and used vocal commands, but Tilikum ignored them all. He dragged her to the bottom, then surfaced, only to pull her under again. When they finally recovered her body, the damage was catastrophic. Her scalp was torn completely off, her left arm had been ripped away, her spine was snapped, her ribs and jaw were shattered. Though drowning was listed as the official cause of death, the medical examiner made it clear this wasn't a simple accident. It was a violent, sustained assault. SeaWorld immediately banned trainers from entering the water with orcas during performances, but the story didn't end there. The documentary Blackfish reignited public outrage, revealing years of ignored warnings, signs of distress in captive whales, and a corporate culture that prioritized shows over safety. Tilikum's legacy became one of controversy and grief. And Dawn's story became a symbol for every trainer who trusted a bond that could never be fully understood. Entering the den alone, Patricia Wyman had always dreamed of working with wildlife. In April of 1996, that dream became real. The 24-year-old biologist was hired to care for wolves at Ontario's Haliburton Forest and Wildlife Reserve. But the job came with a warning. Do not enter the enclosure alone. The wolves were kept semi-wild, and even experienced staff only observed them from behind one-way glass. But just 4 days into her new role, Patricia entered the 15-acre enclosure alone. What happened next was pieced together from animal behavior patterns and a few distant witnesses. The wolves didn't run, they stood, watched, and began to circle. Patricia likely sensed the danger, but it was too late. She tripped over a fallen branch, fell, and that moment sealed her fate. The alpha male charged first. He tackled her to the ground, and the rest of the pack followed. They bit into her legs, tore into her arms, and dragged her across the terrain. She tried to protect her head, but the attack was coordinated and brutal. Each wolf weighed nearly 170 pounds. Pack pulled in multiple directions. The scene lasted only minutes, but the damage was irreparable. When police arrived, they found the wolves still guarding her body. They hadn't eaten her. They'd simply killed her. Officers had to fire gunshots into the air to drive the animals back. No one could explain why she went in that day. It wasn't feeding time. No protocols had changed. Some say she made a mistake. Others wonder if she was sent in under pressure. The wolves never gave an answer, but Patricia's decision, intentional or not, left her with no way out. A gate left open. On May 29th, 2017, the 33-year-old zookeeper arrived early to begin her usual prep work at Hamerton Zoo in Cambridgeshire, England. She was assigned to clean the windows of the tiger paddock before the park opened. The tiger inside, Sissip, a fully grown Malayan male, was supposed to be locked behind 3 physical barriers, a vertical gate, and 2 metal doors. But that morning, somehow, all 3 were open. No one knows why, no alarms triggered, no staff intervened. Rosa stepped into the enclosure thinking it was safe. It wasn't. The tiger struck immediately. He mauled her with overwhelming force, clamping his jaws around her neck, severing her spinal cord. Her body collapsed. She was conscious for only seconds. Deep gouges tore through her arms and legs. Her throat was crushed. She didn't stand a chance. A guest looking through the glass was the first to realize something was wrong. They saw Rosa lying motionless. By the time other staff responded, it was too late. The investigation confirmed the worst. It wasn't mechanical failure. It wasn't a freak accident. The only thing protecting staff from the animals was strict adherence to safety protocols. That day, someone skipped a step, and Rosa paid for it with her life. Her family later said she died doing what she loved. But even love isn't enough to survive human error when the stakes involve apex predators. 3 doors left open, 1 life lost forever.